Legion Beta. What we'll be doing today here is the Arms Warrior. We'll be checking out the Arms Warrior artifact quest line, and we'll be checking out the class hall, the talents, the abilities, and the abilities, or excuse me, the talents that come on the artifact weapon itself, along with some of the animations. If you're looking for something specific, you can check in the description a link to the time that you can skip to if you're interested in just something in particular. So what we'll do here is we will get started. This is where you will end up, right where all these people are loading in, right here at the beginning of your quest in the Lost Isles, whatever they're called. You'll talk to this gentleman. It's good to see you on your feet. The members of the Council of Six are recuperating from their ordeal. The intensity of the teleportation spell can be disorienting. It seems you lost consciousness for a time, but at least you didn't awaken to find yourself stuck in a wall. Dalaran has been relocated to the Broken Isles. From here, we will spearhead the effort to acquire the Pillars of Creation and drive the Legion from Azeroth once and for all. Here is your Dalaran Hearthstone. This is basically your new Garrison Hearthstone. And the Tomes of the Tranquil Mind. This is so loud. This is so very loud, I don't even know what's happening. Tome of the Tranquil Mind, which you want to hang on to, those are used for you to respec while you are out in the world or in a dungeon or a raid. So here we go. As you can see, I don't have any quests, and there's no quests on the map for me to pick up. What you're going to do is you're just going to run around Dalaran a little bit, and your artifact quest will begin. For the warrior, it's a little bit different. You start out with a little bit of a different quest before you start on your artifact weapon, but it's fun and interesting nonetheless. I haven't done Arms Warrior. Actually, I have done Arms Warrior 3 times now. This is the first time.
Commander, I have a message for you.
Hopefully we'll get it to work. Champion, I bear an urgent message from Doneth Trollbane. He requests for you to join him at Crassus's Landing. He has an urgent mission that requires your expertise.
Excellent, Commander.
We'll head over there.
Doneth awaits you on Crassus's Landing.
But this would be the 3rd time.
I bear an important message from Doneth Trollbane.
Thank you. It bugs a lot, this particular quest. I don't know why. It also seemed extraordinarily overtuned before. So, hopefully this time we'll get through it without any problems.
Look there upon that terrible sight.
I'm relieved you survived the broken shore,
disasters
when
must
so many brave
faced
heroes were
before
lost.
we can at last
Doneth
find
hangs his head
peace.
in a moment of silence. I have been recalled from Honorhold to aid the Alliance in its darkest hour. It is crucial that we learn from our mistakes. Do you have time to speak? If I'm to assist in this war, I need first-hand information. I will fly to the Broken Shore and see the battlefield for myself. Your record as a proven commander is unquestioned, and you were there. I could use your insight. Will you accompany me to the Broken Shore? I don't anticipate engaging the enemy, but that close to the Fellstorm, one can never be sure. So you'll hop on this griffin here, and as you can see, there is the Tomb of Sargeras in the distance. And we're going to be heading to the Broken Shore, where the opening scenario takes place, right here. And we'll do our little warrior scenario.
This place is filthy with corruption. I fear a long campaign awaits us. Look out! Evasive maneuvers! Get out of here, champion! I'll find my own way!
Shrug off your wounds, warriors! Another battle awaits!
Harvey didn't say they would be so short.
That old seer is mad, but rarely wrong. Come, friend, more demons approach. Prove your valor. Shrug off your wounds, warriors! Another battle awaits!
As you can see, it appears that it is still slightly overtuned. I've done this as Prot and Fury and not had a problem to this point. Hopefully we won't have too much more of that.
I don't have a target. far away. I need a target.
A Valkyr approaches. We must greet her with respect. Come, heroes.
Hardgrim! Ulrich! Odin has judged you worthy for his halls! Come with me to glory!
Watch over me from above, my brothers, and save me a seat in the hall. A brute has joined the battle, little hero. Come and meet your fate before your place is taken!
I'm out of range. I need a target. I don't have a target.
My forces are legion. Your efforts are futile. Enough! I will break you myself!
Well, will you look at that?
At last! Ha ha! This is the glorious death Harvey promised me!
I say we kill the demon instead. Little hero, you have proven yourself a worthy ally. Will you stand with us? Even though it
Say
could
what
mean
you
our
have to
death.
say. Ha! With all of us together, we may yet be victorious. Either way, I'll not go down easily.
I need to get
Let
closer.
us be about it then!
I will salute your courage in the halls of valor, or over this monster's corpse.
Your pathetic resistance only delays the inevitable! All will die to the Legion! Is that the best you can manage, weaklings? A few scratches?
I can still fight.
You will die like the insect you are!
I'm out of range. I need to get closer. too far away.
Enough of this! Face your
I need to get
destruction!
closer.
You yet stand! Impossible! Death comes, but I will take you with me!
A valorous sacrifice, but it is not yet your time.
And to the warrior class hall we go.
Welcome to Skyhold. Here the brave live on forever.
Welcome to the halls of valor, hero. Normally one must die to gain entrance, but times have changed. Fear not, mortal. You are not dead. I was directed to collect you before your demise by Odin himself. I will take you to Odin now. Follow me.
Strive to be worthy. Behind you lies the Eye of Odin, which peers across all of Azeroth. This way lies the Forge, where the mightiest weapons of the Valajar are crafted by Helgar, the greatest smith in the halls. Across the Vey lies the Arena of Glory, where warriors vie for supremacy in epic combat. Before us lies the Great Mead Hall, where drink and stories flow freely. Odin awaits ahead. I will go forth and announce you. Be respectful.
I have foreseen the coming of a mighty champion to these shores. One who would slay countless foes and prove their valor time and again. One who would lead my armies to victory against the great darkness that seeks to devour this world. You have proven yourself the greatest living warrior on Azeroth. It is for this reason I have saved you. I name you Valajar. Bring glory to these halls on the wings of my Valkyr.
Hooray! Okay, now we'll go talk to Odin here.
My Valajar.
Now all here know who you are. It is time for armaments befitting my champion.
Remember,
as the greatest warrior in these
life is
halls, you
nothing
require a great
without
weapon to do
valor.
both your will and mine. I have looked down on Azeroth and found artifacts worthy of your hands. I leave it to you to choose which artifact you wish to seek out and wield against the Legion. We will recover the others in time.
Go now, my
Here are the
champion.
3 artifact weapons for the warrior. For the purposes of this video, though, we're going to be going for the Arms Warrior artifact. The first king of the humans, Thoradin, was a mighty ruler and a mighty warrior. He carried with him a greatsword forged by Vrykul, empowered by elves, and bloodied on the fields of countless battles. Stromkar, Ender of Wars, was lost with Thoradin, excuse me. One strong enough to recover the sword would bring to bear a blade unlike any seen in the ages since. And there it is. We'll be picking this up. Has some strength, some stamina, some crit and mastery, and then of course it has its own special ability that is on a minor cooldown that you can use. So we'll check that out when we have an opportunity, and we're going to select that and get moving.
What victories do you bring me?
I knew you would pick that one. Let us be about it.
May your
The first king of the
battles be
humans, Thoradin,
glorious.
performed many acts of heroism and valor. While on a personal quest near the end of his reign, he stumbled upon a tomb of my brother Tyr in the grave prison of the monstrosity he died fighting. Thoradin unintentionally awoke the beast and gave his life to keep it from escaping. It is Thoradin's sword, Stromkar, that has kept the monster at bay. Retrieve it and finish what Tyr and Thoradin started. Kill Zakaz the Corrupted. Zakaj? I don't know how to say that, but you
Bring
get
us
the idea.
tales of
So
victory.
there we go. So what we're having to do now is we're going to head out of here through the warrior class hall, which we'll take a little bit more of a look at After we finish our artifact quest, I'll give you a minor rundown and a better look around.
I serve a greater power.
Go through here. She will send you back to Dalaran. I think you can just jump in there as well. You're not necessarily having to speak to her every time. She comes flying out of the sky as like a meteor. And land down. And for this, as you can see, take the portal to Dalaran Crater. If you have a portal to Stormwind or something like that, or your Hearthstone set to Stormwind, you can do that as well. It's just easier to do this. This is the new area of Dalaran here in the middle, the Chamber of the Guardian. Stand on that little circle there and it'll take you down. And as you can see here in the back, there are a bunch of portals that are useful, not only in the artifact chain, but just in general, to get around the world a little easier. And here is the one for the Dalaran Crater. I'm pretty sure we're going to die. Huh.
Welcome, friend.
Oh,
Be good.
they must have just added that. We'll take it. I like that. that is super useful. Take this and fly over here so we can mount up. But with that opening scenario quest, we did that. As you can see, I did die once, and I came very close to dying there on the boss. That seems to be a particular problem with the Arms Warrior in particular. I didn't have any problems whatsoever as Fury or as Protection Warrior, so I'm not sure if the numbers are super low, or if I'm just not doing this rotation right. I know you're supposed to Colossus Smash, and then you have your Mortal Strike, and Focused Rage will increase Mortal Strike, and we'll talk about that later, but I'm not quite sure. So hopefully that gets a little fleshed out before it goes live, otherwise some people might get bottlenecked there on that quest. But as you can see, what we're doing now, we're heading through, what is it, Silver Pine, correct? Silver Pine Forest, and we'll be heading up to Tirisfal in this area right here, which is also where the Holy Paladin quest is as well. So for those of you that are interested in Holy Paladin 2, I have a video up for that. I believe should be up already, and you also go to this area. But you won't need to buy a glider because you can just bubble on the way down. Nice ambiance, flying towards the moonlight. Okay.
What transpired down below? Tell us, spirit.
It's too far away.
I will tell you nothing. What lies beneath will be the end of you. Why, thanks. Though we have never met before, I sense great courage in your heart. Yes, you are the hero I need. Long ago, my yearning for knowledge led me here, to a tomb that lies beneath the lake. Within its cold stone walls, I found something long buried. A terrible darkness, an ancient evil.
My men begged me to walk away. I refused. My pride would be my downfall, and theirs. The evil stirred, unleashing death upon us. With my last breath, I drove my blade, Stromka, into the beast's skull. For many ages, the sword has kept the beast from rising again. But now, it stirs once more. So I must ask you to delve into the depths of the tomb and finish what I started. I will go with you to offer what aid I can.
So, I'm not going to read through all of this. You can read through this on your time if you want to pause the video here, you want to take a look at it. And there we go.
Beware the old gods. Even in death, the monster is restless. Its corruption has spread throughout the tomb. You will have to fight your way through.
Quite sure. I think he said he was going to follow us, but I guess not. We're on our own, boys and girls. We're on our own. But it's okay. It's probably not okay. We're probably
When I saw this antechamber,
Okay.
I knew we had found something momentous. Here was a door so oddly familiar, like a long-forgotten memory. We broke the first seal.
Is he here? I don't understand. Oh my.
As I feared, one of the monster's
We're in an
minions
anime,
has
boys.
returned. Its presence is corrupting the wards of the tomb and blocking the path. You must destroy the tendrils to draw it out. Those tendrils are using dark magic to become immune to attack. Interrupt their casting so you can strike.
I'm out of range.
it is, atop the crypt. Prepare yourself!
I need to get closer.
These monsters play tricks upon the mind.
I'm out of range.
Beware their illusions.
It's too far away. I need a target.
Behold, the site of my final battle. And there lies my foe. Even now, Zakaj struggles for consciousness. You must hurry! No! We are too late! Zakaj has awakened! The beast seems slow, confused. The sword wounds it still. Quickly! Strike it down before it recovers completely!
I'm out of range. It's too far away.
Beware. Zakaj grows desperate. He may change his tactics.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. I don't have a target.
You have done
That was a
what
bit
I could
underwhelming.
not. You defeated Zakaj and lived. You know what needs to be done. Take up the wall breaker and end the threat of Zakaj once and for all. At last, the nightmare is over. I can finally leave this place and be at peace. I leave my blade to you. Stromkar deserves to be wielded in battle, not locked away in a tomb. It was forged by a master swordsmith and imbued with elven magics. I know not whether being buried in that beast for centuries has affected it, but I trust that it will serve you well.
Okay, and you can see this little portal right here. This will take us back to our class hall. And we'll jump to the sky hold. And here we are, back at the warrior class hall. Now we have our weapon, which we'll take a closer look at here in just a moment. We'll head up and turn in our quest to Odin. That last boss felt extraordinarily underwhelming. I thought there would be a little bit more to that, but just avoiding his AoE cone attack seemed to have done everything.
Have you
Hopefully they'll
brought
change that.
valor to these halls?
A mighty blade forged by the son of Rykul, enchanted by elven sorcery, and quenched in the blood of Sathraxi. It will serve you well. With it, you will put an end to our enemies.
Remember,
Your new weapon
life
is very
is
powerful.
nothing without
My smiths
valor.
have mastered crafting over thousands of years. Speak to Master Smith Helgar and see what improvements may be made.
Go now, my champion.
So we'll head out, and while we're heading down here, I'll actually walk this out so we can take a moment. If you look at the top here, it tells you where you are. We're in Skyhold, the Halls of Valor, the Warrior Class Hall. Right over here is your Order resources, the exact same thing as Garrison resources. They're used for quests to progress in your Class Hall storyline, also for some other things to go check out or get some extra gold, just like the garrison missions, and to get artifact power, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And as you can see around here, very cool. The architecture is very, very beautiful. Kind of reminds you of Diablo 3, the high heavens. Very nice. But we'll head over here and we'll go talk to the smith. And here's our friend over here. He'll be helping us out through the expansion. This artifact is amazing. I can already see the potential we can unlock. This forge has been working for longer than your race has existed. We might know a few things. Your weapon is powerful. It will take my personal forge in order to work it. We can work the artifact to provide various improvements, provided you have enough experience with it. Let's give it a try, shall we? And this is the Forge of Odin. When you click on it, this will bring up the warrior UI, or excuse me, the artifact weapon UI. As you can see, we already have this here, Warbreaker. So one rank spell that we have as long as the weapon is equipped. It's on a 1 minute cooldown. You stomp the ground, causing a ring of corrupted spikes to erupt upwards, dealing 25,821 shadow damage and applying the Colossus Smash effect to all nearby enemies. It'd be really good for cleaving down things, and we'll talk about these two abilities a little bit later. But as you can see, we have an ability that we can put, or no, excuse me, a trait we can put some points into. This is Thoradin's Might, 1 rank passive, which will increase the damage dealt by Mortal Strike by 15%. It costs 100 artifact power, and Blizzard gives you 100 artifact power just for the sake of this tutorial. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and that brings up the UI for the entire item. Really neat. And we'll take a look at these different passives that we can pick up. Here we have One Against Many, a 3 rank passive. Cleave increases damage dealt by your next whirlwind by an additional 2% for each target hit and costs 300 artifact power per rank. As you can see, these will all change. These two will cost 300 artifact power per rank. These may go up, these will go up as you go along, and once you finish out, to one area, it keeps progressively getting more expensive. But over here, we have Crushing Blows, 3 rank passive, which increases the damage dealt by slam by 5% per rank. And again, these are per rank. I'm sure you knew that, but just to clarify, This will take you up 2% for each rank, and this will take you up 5% for each rank. A Will of the First King, a 1-rank passive. Whirlwind critical strikes generate 2 rage. Defensive Measures, a 1-rank passive. While a Die by the Sword is active, damage taken is reduced by an additional 5%. Deathblow, a 3-rank passive, increases the critical strike chance of execute by 5%. Exploit the Weakness, 3-rank passive. Tactician's chance to trigger is increased as if you spend 10% more rage. And here we have, as you can see, we have 3 of these golden portrait traits that we can pick up. This particular one is Shattered Defenses, 1-rank passive. After using Colossus Smash, your next Mortal Strike or Execute gains 30% increased critical strike chance and deals 30% additional damage. So that will definitely help. We could have used that. We could have used that because I felt super weak. And then we'll head down here. We got Tactical Advantage, a 3-rank passive. When Heroic Leap lands, you gain 10% increased armor and chance to parry for 4 seconds. And we have Precise Strikes, a 3-rank passive. Colossus Smash, rather, reduces the rage cost of your next Mortal Strike or Execute by 15%. And that leads to the Corrupted Blood of Zakaj, a 1-rank passive. For 5 seconds after activating Battle Cry, Shramkar radiates shadowy energy, causing all of your attacks to deal an additional 20% damage as shadow over 6 seconds. That's a pretty neat one. I like that. That's cool. I like how that ties into the quest line. And we have Many Will Fall, a 3-rank passive, increases the damage dealt by Whirlwind by 5%. Here we have another Focus in Battle, a 1-rank passive which increases the damage dealt by Colossus Smash by 25%. We have Unending Rage, 3-rank passive which increases maximum rage by 10%. We talked about this one. Touch of Zakaj, a 3-rank passive. Shramkar heals you for 3% of the damage you deal with Mortal Strike, so that will max out at 9%. And Void Cleave, a 1-rank passive. When Cleave strikes at least 3 targets, Shramkar releases a burst of Void Energy, dealing 3,245 shadow damage to all nearby enemies. So a lot of AoE in this item. A lot of single target damage, but a good bit of AoE if you come down along this side. As you can see here along the top, you might be asking what these are. These are your artifact relic slots. And what you do with these is you'll put these in. They have item levels usually attributed to them. You get them through quests, world quest, dungeons, etc. And you just slide them in. You can't take them back out, so once you should make sure once you put something in, you want to keep that in there. It's not really too much to worry about while leveling, but as you get further along and you start doing heroics and mythics, you're going to want to make sure you're paying attention to what you're putting in and taking out. And they also will add extra traits to ranks, rather, of traits to these. So if you are 3 of 3, it will add more to that. So you can have 3 of 3 Exploit the Weakness. This one may add 2 to that rank, and you'll end up with 5 ranks in this Exploit the Weakness. That's just an example. It can be in any of these. I don't think it can be in these as long. I haven't ever had a Shadow Artifact Relic slot opened up. So I'm not quite sure about that, but that might add to these later on. And then you can see a number up here. Every time you unlock a trait or add a trait point in, you will get a passive amount of stamina. Some people get some classes and specs will get stamina and damage. This particular one just gets stamina. It'll be increased by 0.75% for every trait purchased, up unto 34 traits. So there we go. That's our UI. You can bring up this UI at any time, anywhere in the world by shift right clicking, but you are only able to put points in and use your artifact power here at this forge in your warrior class hall. So we'll talk to Helgar and finish this up. Your weapon has untold potential. You will need to get more acquainted with it first, and we can work on it some more.
Glory to
It is time to
Odin.
begin the war in Azeroth. We have prepared a tool for you to direct your warriors and your own operations from here. It is called the Eye of Odin. If you will follow me, I will take you to it, and someone that will help you use it.
May Odin's gaze give you strength.
Obviously, there is another area over here. I'm not going to go too much in depth with that. Leave some things for you to discover on your own when you're actually playing the game. But there's a cool little area over there, which I'm not going to spoil for anyone. But we're heading over to this gentleman over here at the Eye of Odin, which you can see right in here. And
Hail, champion!
it has been a while since I've talked to the living. I hope you don't mind if I assist you. Being slain in combat has given me a calmer outlook in this emergency than other warriors.
Until the
The
next
Legion thinks you are
battle.
dead. It will be quite the surprise when you punish them for that assumption. This allows us to see all across the Broken Isles and assign warriors to various tasks. Once you've taken a look, you should choose your first area of operation. I've already picked out the best spots. This is where
Death to
you
your
will
enemies.
have your UI to pick where to assault first, and eventually later on, once you finish zones, you'll come back here and pick the next zone to assault. You can pick any of these. For the purposes of this, I am going to pick Stormheim. Obviously, we cannot pick Suramar here. In the middle, Suramar is a level 110 zone with a lot of world quests and some mythic dungeons. So we don't have to worry about that one for right now. Also, all of these zones will level up with you. So if you pick Stormheim first, it will be level 100. If you pick it last, it will be whatever level you are at that particular point in time. So if you start over here, or just mix and match, all of these zones will be the exact same level. The mobs will be the exact same level as you when you get through them. So you don't have to worry about picking anyone in particular. Just pick the one that you seem the most interested in based on the lore of the area or the aesthetics of the area. So we'll just click here on Stormheim and accept. An excellent choice. As more opportunities arise, I will bring them to your attention. Good luck in battle.
May your battles end.
There are also a few other things around here that you'll get accustomed to as you're going through the leveling process, things that you'll have to do, and a UI that you will use, much like the garrison order table. But we're not going to talk about that right now because it's obviously not open for us at this particular level. We will talk to this
Death
young lady who will
cannot
send us
stop me.
back to Dalaran. And we will finish up our little quest here. Head back to Stormwind, and I will show you the talents, what spells we still have. As you can see here on the bar, this is pretty much everything we have. And then we will take a look at some of the animations. And while we're running there, you can see Dalaran pretty much looks exactly the same as it always has, with the exception, obviously, of that middle area. Nothing's really changed. Still the same old Dalaran that we know and love, except without the yelling of its former leader. And we'll turn in this quest. It's an honor.
This is the
Well
most
met.
powerful
I have
ship
come on
in-
behalf of King Anduin Rin. My crew is preparing for a special mission, and the king would like you to join us. Please review this official summons, and if you are satisfied, return with me to Stormwind Harbor. Rogers hands you a sealed envelope.
Show them what we're
Click on
made
our
of.
envelope right here.
Champion, the Skyfire is about to embark on an urgent mission. I must ask that you accompany them. Report to Stormwind Harbor as soon as possible. They are under strict orders not to leave without you.
Follow me. The Skyfire is just about ready to leave.
I trust that your valor and discretion will serve the Alliance well, as it always has. With honor, King Anduin Rin.
And there is the new king of the Alliance. Spoiler alert, obviously. But if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're not too worried. I'm sure that has been ruined for you, as it was for me several times over. But you would turn your quest in there. If you were going to start Stormheim, you would turn it into her. She would have you do a few things out here. We're not going to progress with that because we're not going to be going any further into the storyline here. We're going to head over to this area and check out our talents. We're going to take a look at our weapon, and we'll take a look at some animations, etc. And I'll give you an idea of some of the abilities that are still here for the Arms Warrior, and we'll talk about any of them. If they have changed, I'll give you the description. So we're almost there. Hopefully not too many people at this time of night. Keep the sounds to a minimum. Few people, so we'll go up here. Okay. And we'll take a little zoom in and look at our weapon. This is Stormcar. Pretty neat. Has a nice little Titan effect. I believe there is a water effect inside here, or a smoky effect. Yeah, it does look like it. Very nice. I like this a lot better than the Fury Warrior item. Although Fury seems to be the more interesting spec for you that are interested in arms. The weapon is pretty cool looking. Although I'm not completely sold on this spec, at least the weapon looks a little bit nicer than one would expect. Okay, so while we're there, we're going to jump right in and before we look at these talents, we'll take a look at the weapon so you can get your eyes on the weapon speed, the damages. So we have Strength, Stamina, Crit, Mastery, and then the Warbreaker ability, which we did talk about. So it's a very, very slow two-handed sword. Nice. Very nice. And to our talents. The 15 tier, we now have Dauntless, a passive which makes your abilities cost 20% less rage. Overpower has returned. 8 rage instant cast overpowers the enemy, causing 30,500 physical damage. It cannot be blocked, dodged, or parried, and has a 60% increased chance to critically strike. All of your melee attacks have a chance to activate Overpower. And then Sweeping Strikes is a passive which will make your Mortal Strike and Execute hit a second nearby target. We have in the 30 tier Shockwave, which has not changed, as well as Stormbolt, and Double Time, which increases the maximum number of charges on charge by 1 and reduces its cooldown by 3 seconds. In the 45 tier, we have Fervor Battle, passive that that makes Whirlwind deal 40% increased damage to the primary target. We have Rend. Thank God. They really went all out on that. Which causes 12 rage and wounds the target, causing 28,530 bleed damage over 15 seconds. And then Avatar. And in the 60 tier, we have Second Wind, a passive that restores 6% of your health every 1 second when you have not taken damage for 5 seconds. We have Bounding Stride, a passive that reduces the cooldown on Heroic Leap by 15 seconds and increases your run speed by 70% for 3 seconds. And then we have a Defensive Stance, which is pretty neat. 10-second cooldown, instant cast. A defensive combat state that reduces all damage you take by 20% and all damage you deal by 10% and lasts until cancelled. I don't believe when you use this, we can actually put this on our bar and we'll check in a minute. I don't believe this is going to force you... Oh, look at that. It gives you a shield. That's really neat. I did not know that. I had not checked that previously. I'm not a big fan of Arms Warriors. That is really cool. I like that a lot. Okay, that is really neat. I'm sorry. I'm fanboying over that. In the 75 tier, we have In for the Kill, a passive that makes Mortal Strike generate 40 rage when used against targets that are below 20% health. And we have Mortal Combo, your passive that allows Mortal Strike to have a maximum of 2 charges. And Focused Rage, which I think, in my opinion, will be the best of them. Focused Rage, a 12 rage, 1.5 second cooldown ability that focuses your rage on your next Mortal Strike, increasing its damage by 50%, stacking up to 3 times, and it's unaffected by the global cooldown. In the 90 tier, Deadly Calm, a passive that makes Battlecry also reduce the rage cost of your abilities by 100% for the duration. We have Trauma. Slam and Whirlwind now cause the target to bleed for 20% additional damage over 6 seconds. Multiple uses accumulate increased damage. Titanic Might. Just to clarify, I think what they're trying to say there is if you're using Slam and Whirlwind on a raid boss and you have the Trauma ability, that bleed damage will start to stack. I believe so. I could be wrong. I think that's what they're trying to say there. Maybe. Who knows? Titanic Might. A passive increases the duration of Colossus Smash by 16 seconds, but reduces the effectiveness by 50%. Colossus Smash deals 100%, so you would get, what, 24 seconds of 50% increased damage? That might be worth it. That might be worth it. People have to min-max that, I'm not sure. In the 100 tier, the Craptacular Anger Management. Every 10 rage you spend reduces the remaining cooldown on Battlecry by 1 second. We have Opportunity Strikes, a passive. Your melee abilities have up to a 60% chance, based on the target's missing health, to trigger an extra attack that deals 11,686 physical damage. And that could be useful. I mean, what is that? It's kind of like, well, what's the old Wind Fury type deal? It doesn't seem to do so much damage. Might be useful. And then Ravager, which replaces Blade Storm. So you might be better off going with one of these and not taking Ravager. I took Ravager for the purposes of this. You can actually get rid of that and just keep Blade Storm. But Ravager's still the exact same thing. I'm going to throw down Ravager real quick so you can see the animation. The new animation. Pretty cool. And I'm going to switch that out when the cooldown's up. And we'll take a look at Blade Storm. But while we're waiting on that, we'll take a look at some of these abilities that we have. We have Heroic Throw is still there. Still the exact same thing, as well as Pummel. We talked about these two talented abilities in Shockwave and Ravager, of course. Battlecry is a little bit different. We no longer have our buffs. Battlecry is now a 1 minute cooldown where it lets loose a Battlecry, granting 100% crit strike chance for 5 seconds. And Commanding Shout has changed as well. It's on a 3 minute cooldown. Let loose a commanding shout, granting all party or raid members within 30 yards 15% increased max health for 10 seconds. Die by the Sword this might be new, I'm not quite sure. On a 3 minute cooldown, it increases your parry chance by 100% and reduces all damage you take by 30% for 8 seconds. We have Intimidating Shout, which is the same, and Heroic Leap, which is the same. Down here we have Charge, obviously the same. Slam is now a 12 rage ability, which deals 13,150 damage. This is your little rage dump. We have Mortal Strike, exact same thing. We have Colossus Smash. I'm not sure if any of this has changed, so I'll read the numbers. Smashes the enemy's armor, dealing 30,473 physical damage, and increasing the damage you deal to them by 100% for 8 seconds. Cleave and Whirlwind have a little bit of an interaction. Cleave will now strike all enemies in front of you with a sweeping attack for 6,573 physical damage. For each target up to 5 hit, your next Whirlwind deals 20% more damage, so you can have, if you hit 5 targets, you'll have a 100% increased damage on your next Whirlwind, which will strike the closest 8 enemies for 17,529, and that again will be increased by this. And then we have Execute, which has not changed, I don't believe. 24 additional rage. No, that hasn't changed. We have Victory Rush, which is the same. We have our Warbreaker ability. Hamstring is the same. And here is Defensive Stance, which we have on now. And Berserker Rage has not changed either. So we'll take a look at some of these abilities here.
I need to target something
we actually
first.
have to target something. Let's find this spot here. We'll take a look at the animation. We'll get rid of Ravager real quick. And we'll put Blade Storm on our bar. So you can take a look at that animation before we move on. Here is Blade Storm. looks like the animation is a little bit bugged in defensive stance. So we'll pop out of that. And we'll take a look at some of these abilities here. Back up a little bit. Heroic Throw has not changed very much. Avatar changes us into a big, black, sleek-looking monstrosity. I actually love the look of this now. It's very, very cool indeed. Our auto attack, pretty much the same. Berserker Rage has a little blood effect on the ground. I do want to mention that I do not have my settings on Ultra. My computer is not particularly strong, my graphics card especially. So this may look a lot different for you if you have everything on Ultra. Intimidating Shout. Not much of a change there. A little bit. Die by the sword. Pretty much the same. Not much of a difference. Commanding Shout. No different. Battle Cry. Pretty cool. I love that. And this guy wanted to be in the video. Cool beans, man. Shockwave. Not much of a difference. We have Focus Rage. Kind of gives this neat little effect, letting you know you're building up. Blade Storm again. Doesn't seem to be any different in between the stances. I wonder if that's a bug or not. It came up recently. I am going to report that because it's different for the Fury Warrior. Defensive stance, obviously. Showing that again. Get that neat little shield even though we don't have a shield on us. We'll take a look at Colossus Smash. Pretty cool. Slam. There's our Mortal Strike. Cleave. Whirlwind is one of the cooler ones. I love the new AoE looking abilities that they added in rather. Very cool. And now we'll take a look at our artifact ability. Pop out of defensive stance. Pretty cool looking. Pretty cool. And then for my last trick, we'll zoom out here and do a heroic leap into the camera. And there you have it. Those are the new animations. As usual, everyone, I want to thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave one and I will try to answer it as soon as possible. If you could leave a like, I would much appreciate it. If anything changes, again, this is beta as of the 22nd, I believe today is. The 23rd, actually. As of the 23rd, these are the numbers. This is everything that I had available to me. So, you guys have yourselves a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining me.